The Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Secret Recession.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
This is the Full Melt.
Give me a break.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
All right, we're broadcasting out here live from the Clio Cannabis Cup. This is Sunday. Welcome to an extra long, it's only a 2-hour broadcast, but it's an extra. When I say extra, I mean, it's not part of our regular broadcast. I mean, normally we don't do a Saturday or a Sunday broadcast. Today we're doing, I guess we're going 7 days live, aren't we? We had what was the Secret Sesh on Friday. I'm reusing the audio I made for them for this weekend show since we're doing a couple of hours both days. Yesterday was a great time, and there were a lot of people out here. We did talk to a bunch of people that were coming through. We talked to a bunch of vendors. We talked to some people that had some political points of view. I think much of the same is going to happen here today. I think we had scheduled to talk to Patrick, and Patrick is so let's. Can we get Rich over here? Rich and Patrick were going to come on together. Jay Bud, can we get Rich over here to talk on the show? Hey, Robert, can you get Rich a seat? Yep. Well, there's another chair right there, Robert, behind you. Could have just, yeah. So, Rich, here's the microphone for you.
Thank you, Steve.
When you're talking to it, you have to talk real close to it. Otherwise, we won't be able to hear you.
All right.
Now, Patrick is with Pittsburgh NORML. He is a prosecutor, a former prosecutor, and now a member of Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, which I think is very cool. And I'm trying to track him down because he seems to have wandered off in the meanwhile while we were getting ready to go on the air. He was getting ready to. I said, yeah, we'll have you on first. And I was going to pair him up with Patrick here. I'm sorry, with Rich. Is it Rich or Richard? How do you like to go by?
Rich.
You got to talk in.
Rich is perfect. Thanks,
Rich.
Steve.
Okay. So, I don't know where he went off to, Rich. Patrick took off somewhere, and I hope we can locate him pretty quick. You texted him? Right. Good. Come on over for a second. Yeah, just for a second. We talked to this guy yesterday from Pittsburgh NORML. So I know that I know we talked to you yesterday, and we were talking about just kind of what you do when you come out and represent for Pittsburgh NORML. You kind of set up the logistics of these on-site locations to have a presence and speak the word, whatever.
Yeah, everybody needs an events guy,
Right. And
production assistant, make sure that everything gets handled and everything looks good and the point of sale is where it's at,
Right, sure. And you guys got some very cool shirts over here. Yes?
Yeah, we do.
Do you have a chance often to talk to people about the politics of cannabis in Pennsylvania?
I mean, people talk to me about it all the time, and I just sort of redirect them to the people that can speak better on the subject.
Right.
I mean, I know a certain amount from just being around it all
Look,
the time.
I'm just promotions. Don't talk to me about politics.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the way I feel. I mean, I respect it, and I respected the work that Patrick does and everything.
Right.
But, it's far too much for me.
So
far too much.
What could have dangled Patrick off? I mean, I know there's cannabis over there.
Yeah, that could be.
And I know there's also naked people that way.
Naked people that way. His lovely wife is actually working the medical booth too.
Oh, okay. So she's tied up. So, he can't see what's going on.
Right. Exactly. So she's over that way. So he could be over there. We sent him a text and found out where he was at. I don't know if you guys gave him a specific time he was supposed to be here.
Yeah, I know. We did. We told him we were going on at 1, but sometimes it's easy to, Ryan, stop texting me during the darn show. Oh, Ryan bugs me when he does that. It drives me nuts anytime you're on the radio. They know you're on the radio, and they're texting you and sending you messages. Here comes Patrick now.
Awesome.
So, well, I guess meanwhile we're waiting for Patrick to come over here. What drives me most nuts about that is that I'm talking to you, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, yes. So I got Rich, I got Patrick. I'm sorry, I always missed your name.
Isaac.
Isaac. I
Yeah.
don't know why I can't remember Isaac for some reason.
Just like the Love Boat, baby.
The
Just
love,
like the
the
Love Boat.
boat. I love it. There's the memory mnemonic. So, what bugs me most about people that want to text me while I'm on because they're like, hey, do this, or hey, do that, or hey, what about this, or hey, here's a reminder about that. I'm like, dude, I never read any of that stuff. I'm busy talking on the air. Why would I even stop to look at that?
Right.
The only reason I stopped to look at it is because it was dinging and making noise, and I forgot to turn the damn thing off. So there it is over there. Goodbye, be gone until the end of the show. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I mean, we've been having a great time out here at the Cup. It's been fantastic. We met a lot of cool people, and we always have a great time when we come to these events. Everyone's always friendly, obviously, overly friendly.
Did you get a chance to bump into anybody after the concert or during the concert yesterday?
No, we didn't stay for the concert. It was a long
Oh, that's
day for
right.
us.
You booked out.
We
I
booked
remember.
out. We went back to the hotel and took a dip in the pool and relaxed for a little while, you know?
Yep, there goes my friend Ryan. Ryan, you should come over and say hi real quick.
Ryan's coming over, too.
Our old Radio Ringo, Ryan Bringold, is passing through. Here, give him the mic for a second. Thanks so much, Isaac. I appreciate you filling the hole for us. Patrick, come on over.
So how's it going, Mr. Green?
We're doing good, Mr. Ryan.
This is a great event, man.
Do we have so many formalities with the Missa, Massa? Mr. Green, Mr. Ryan.
No, what's up, Steve? I'm at the Cup.
What up, bro?
I've
Hanging
medicated,
Medicated.
and I'm happy as
Oh, you're blowing out the
happy
mic.
as a clam, man.
Blowing out the mic. Ouch. Sorry, we're a little loud.
Don't be blowing out people; they
Hey.
won't listen.
No, that's not a good idea. So, you're baked already?
I wouldn't say baked, but I'm primed.
You're primed for baked,
Primed, and I'm only using flour.
right? No concentrates for.
No concentrates. I don't drink alcohol, and I don't do concentrates.
Why don't you? So I've heard a controversy recently around concentrates. What's up with that?
People, this is all hearsay because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a scientist. But the premise that they're
But you play one on the radio.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I play a clown on the radio.
Oh, hey,
but,
well, that's
you
not
know,
too bad. You know,
Not Bozo or Krusty, but
it's like the radio version of Donald Trump.
that's right.
Did you
Look
say-
how good he's doing, man. People like crazy. So anyways, what I understand about the controversy is this. They believe that extracts from butane, you can't get the residual metals out no matter how you clean it, whether you vacuum, cook it off. There's still harmful chemicals in there that you just can't get rid of.
So they're saying the solvent technology is not there. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's really butane is what they're going after. The CO2 system really isn't an issue. There's nothing that stays in that's harmful.
Sorry, are they talking about the solvent itself isn't pure
BHO.
butane? It's not pure butane because it's got other things in it to help make it liquid and aerosol?
Yes, absolutely. And it doesn't matter how good the grade is. It doesn't matter. Using the BHO method of extract, they just don't want to have nothing to do with it. I haven't seen anything documented.
Does it seem to be the consumer walking away from it? Because I noticed that yesterday myself.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
I noticed that yesterday.
And it's coming out of the West Coast. This isn't something that we've done in
I don't know
Michigan.
that-
It's filtering west.
This cat seemed local, and we had dabs, and he was like, da-da-da-da-da, you want a dab? And he's like, oh, yeah. Or, no, actually, he asked, he's like, you got a dab? And I'm like, sure, I'll let you have a dab.
Right.
So he came over to do a dab, and he was all primed for it, and then he goes, we were talking, because then he saw the Full Melt logo.
Right.
And then he's like, well, wait, what kind of a dabs is this? And I'm like, well, it's BHO. And he's like, oh, no, I'm good on that. And he turned and walked away.
And he was polite. He said, no, thank you.
He was polite, turned on his heel and walked. No, I'm good on that, man. Thanks,
There's
man.
a company here, which, if I can say the company name, if you don't have a problem, it's Skittles. They're 10 Skittles. And this guy's out of California. He's a third-generation grower. I'm going to find him and get him over here for you. But this guy only uses ice and water to get his hash, and he's given dabs over there, and his tent has been full all the time. They're clean, they're tasty, and He's selling that.
So it's just
BHO.
bubble hash.
Bubble hash.
So the industry started around bubble hash, then went to solvents, and they're like, oh, solvents, and they're all running back to bubble hash.
Because I believe in my own, I do use bubble hash. I love it because it's clean. I get the flavor that I'm looking for. I get the high that I'm looking for without the flour.
If it's done right. A lot of people don't do bubble hash right because they just don't know what they're doing. You get a lot of plant material in bubble hash because
you can't beat the shit out of it.
Right,
right. You have to be gentle.
If you got green bubble hash, it's not that good.
Fold it like a souffle, man. Just fold it.
It should be. If it's green, it's got a lot of chlorophyll in there. It's got a lot of plant matter in there. It shouldn't be green. It should be like a brown,
or very blonde.
Or
the
very
first
blonde.
time I did it,
blonde.
I was very satisfied. I got very blonde, nice.
Was
clean.
that the 00 bag, like the top bag?
Actually, it was my second bag. The second bag was
it's like what is it?
My final
the 80
my
bag
final
or whatever
bag was what you would call the name of your show. It was a full melt. I used it in my G pen like I used the wax.
Right.
So it was that was super clean, but you had to use it in that method because it melted away if you tried to use glass or anything else.
Well, maybe you should get those guys over here to talk about that controversy.
I will,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Try and get the guys from Skittles over here to
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I'm going to wander over there. Thank you for giving me the chance to talk with you. You guys do a great show. It's just awesome, man. It's glad to see you back.
Maybe we got to do something about Jamaica. Maybe we can get you in on Jamaica.
Man.
I'm hoping we can get to. Maybe we.
Idery, man. I'm down.
Look, just ask Bob Dole behind you.
That's it, Mr.
Bob Dole, the big banana.
He is a big banana.
He is a.
I like his hair. I wish I had hair like that.
Rastafarian banana.
All right, brother.
It's like Bob Marley and Dole the banana cross.
That's right.
Bob Dole. Bob Dole.
Bob Dole.
All
right,
right,
gotta get a sticker for him.
Well, I think he's out there representing for Pittsburgh.
Gotta get a little Dole sticker.
Somebody
Every
asked
banana has a
earlier
sticker.
before we went on the air. Somebody asked, "Hey, how much is the big banana guy?" And Robert, our tech guy, goes, "Hey, $600." And the guy's like, 600, huh? And I'm like, I started laughing. I'm like, dude, they're about to sell your mascot at Pittsburgh Normal.
But if you're gonna pay 600, I'll do it.
Hey, I said, look, for 60. You know where they got Bob Dole at? They got him as a prize at Cedar Point.
I was gonna say Cedar Point. Yep,
right. So I said, look, for $600, we could all go back to Cedar Point and win another one.
That's right. For sure. They'll sell it to you for cheaper than that. I'm headed to the Skittles tent. I'm gonna try to get them over here. Move forward. And go in peace.
All right, brother. Thank you, Ryan Bringold from the Radio Netherlands. So we're going to break. I think we've got Rich and we got Patrick all lined up, ready to talk about the prohibition message. Patrick's a former prosecutor now with Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. Rich is a Vietnam vet and understands this subject at depth as well from a different facet. We'll explore that whole angle coming up next here on a special Clio Cup broadcast of the Full Melt Show.
You're getting the Full Melt.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas. Probiotic organics, or huge production with Max Power Monster Aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
Introducing Sacred Elements, a place for natural and alternative healing for the mind, body, and soul. Sacred Elements. It's one place, all solutions.
Registered, licensed, certified, ordained.
Sacred Elements.
Massage, hypnosis, Reiki.
Sacred Elements.
Raindrop, aroma and color therapy, body detox, ministry, life coaching, weight and nutrition counseling.
Sacred Elements. Next to the Sweet Leaf, 400 South Dordt Highway, Flint.
11 to 7 daily, closed Sunday.
Call 810-259-2570.
Young students are our future. They're eager to learn, eager to succeed, eager to make the world a better place. And they want to make it to school safely. Share the road, take care when passing, and always leave 3 feet between you and people on bikes. Bikes are legal road vehicles. We're all drivers.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show. Man, I don't know what happened to that audio. That was weird. It was supposed to be Secret Sesh audio. The first hour of the test Secret Sesh audio did not work out so well, I'm just saying. As is evidenced by that rejoin, I'm just saying. So we are live at the Clio Cannabis Cup with High Times Magazine. The big event slated to happen this afternoon at 4:20. And by the way, we're looking eyes to the sky here because last year, you'll remember, and we weren't live on the air here last year. I was actually working at the at a different booth. I was helping out the people at the Oakland County Compassion Club, and they had at the time the Burns magazine, and they had a whole year's worth of Burns magazine back issues that they were like just handing out and giving out for free so people could check it out. And I had a little section where I was helping out one of our sponsors. We're selling Cannalock bags here today. We got some Cannalock bags for our sponsors. They're $20 on site here. They're normally $30 online. And they're the no-smell bags. So nobody knows, you know. You got to point to the nose when you say nose. Nobody knows. You can't see it on the radio, can you? It doesn't work so well on the radio.
It's absolutely critical for radio.
So we're out here in that spirit. We got the Full Melt show shirts out here. Those are going strong. Robert, are you making good sales on the Full Melt show shirts?
I did.
He did. He's got something going on. Did anybody say anything about him? No, they were like, hey, I like that logo. Is it just a logo that's selling them? Do they like the logo? Is that why they're buying them? Nothing. Oh, they just said, I like the shirt. You're just like, screw it. He wants a shirt. I don't care why you want the shirt. Give me your money. Here's a shirt. Good job. That's the way to do it. That's the American spirit here at the Clio Cannabis Cup. Look, we don't have much to sell. We just do a stupid radio show. That's all we do. But in the spirit of that, we talk to a lot of important people. And so I've got a couple of people we primed you before the break for. Rich is a Vietnam vet. Where was your tour? Tell us about your tour real quick, Rich.
All right, my tour was like this. I graduated from high school. I was an Iowa boy in 1965. Enlisted in the service, and in 1966, I was in Vietnam.
Now, just to give you a perspective on things, I was born in 67, so there you go. So go ahead.
All right, and I spent 17 months there, came back to the United States, lived here, up and down on my luck, and went through one family, and things progressed, got worse, alcohol, pills, drugs, you name it.
Oh, so you were one of those guys from Vietnam that was like... there was no hope when you came back, and did things bother you from after the war?
Well, I'll tell you, for 7 years...
Was it a struggle, like reintegrating and all that?
When I first came back, I thought I had no problems. I had a very good job with a major corporation, one of the... Can I okay say it?
It's
Xerox
your story. I don't...
Xerox Corporation.
Okay, cool.
And after a number of years, the alcohol started to get worse and worse. The martinis, After work turned into during work, turned into before and after and during work. I was bonded for $250,000. I was a 26-year-old guy, rock and rolling, moving up, and things came to a screeching halt one day. My wife divorced me, hit the bottom, and then I asked for help. Went into AA, put myself in an AA program, but it took me years to do that.
Right.
I had to admit that I had a problem.
Sure. It's hard to identify when you're in that situation sometimes. It's hard to admit, not so much identify. You know you got a problem. It's just admitting that you have the problem is the hard part.
That's it, exactly. I knew I had many problems.
So what about that brings you to the Cannabis Cup? How does that tie into this event, or does it?
Well, what I did is I went into an Alcoholics Anonymous program, a 28-day program. I got clean for the first time in years and years and years. I got out and I worked the program every day, and I had to totally disassociate myself from any of my previous friends, associates.
Sure, you got to change your environment. It's part of the rehab process. You got to disassociate from the bad environment so that you can start a new good environment.
That's right, and we all have choices, and I chose to live because I'd seen too much carnage.
Right.
And I still carry this. I still get very emotional about it. One day, as a result of some of the medication from the Veterans Administration, I'm not casting any
it's a medical issue.
It is. It's something I couldn't handle. I wasn't adapted. My system couldn't handle it. It almost killed me, and after that, I died. The only thing I do now is blood pressure, cholesterol, so on and so forth, and marijuana.
Cannabis.
Marijuana.
Cannabis.
I just had an operation last Friday to where they did a colonoscopy. We moved a couple of polyps, and right before they put you under, they ask you, what's your medications? I told them. They said, you take drugs? I said, you consider marijuana drugs? They said, yes, it is. I said, are we canceling the operation? They said, no, we're not.
Well, that's a good thing.
It was a good experience.
Was that your last gasp at trying to get out of the operation? Look,
no.
I smoke pot. Don't do that. No.
No, absolutely not. No.
You can't do that now because I just admitted I smoke weed. Oh, that's not going to work. All right.
No, but they all looked at me funny, and I said, is there a problem? They smiled and giggled a little bit and said, no.
I'm still eligible.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been scary if they had told you no.
Oh, I'd have told them, you already gave me something. I'm feeling the effects. Please.
Right.
I don't know what I'm saying.
You just gave me an
I
IV.
lied.
Right. You just gave me something way worse than pot, whatever it is.
They don't take you that far and cancel for any reasons, I don't think.
I don't know. Well, maybe they would. I mean, where denial would have been during pre-screening because they always pre-screen for operations. You know, they want to make sure that you're capable of withstanding.
Previously, they did a nuclear stress test on my heart, and right before they administer whatever they administer, you sign a paper saying if your heart stops, you realize this is going to happen and they're going to get it restarted.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, you found cannabis is a good alternative to standard medical therapy, is what you're saying?
To the therapy that I was receiving, I completely believe in the medical therapies of operations and so on and so forth. Sure,
but I'm saying that as an alternative to the drug treatments they were giving you, you opted to stay away from those and to gravitate towards cannabis instead.
They were treating symptoms. This is also treating a symptom, but it's doing different. I can't explain the neurons in the brain and so on and so forth, but they have discovered this. And
you're talking about the human endocannabinoid system. You're talking about the response, to the cannabinoids, particularly THC,
yes. And especially with the CBD and the children with the epileptic seizures and so on. Man, it's undeniable.
Yeah. So you're here in support of that.
Well, no, I'm here for the medical treatment. I heard about this Thursday, booked a plane for Friday, and here I am.
Where'd you come from?
I came from Wisconsin.
So you're out in Wisconsin, where the fight has not yet been, it's not, you don't have anything there yet.
No, they don't. No, as a matter of fact, it's pretty repressive.
Well, sure.
I'm moving to Michigan as yes.
Well, welcome to the Mitten State. I got to say.
Well, thank you guys.
It's not too much
you,
different.
Michigan.
There's a different political environment here, and it's changing. We'll see what happens in the next cycle. You know, we're trying to legalize marijuana in Michigan.
Yes.
There's a legalization campaign. Have you moved here yet? Do you have a residence?
No.
You just flew in and booked a flight to this event so you could
come
and check it out.
I flew back to the United States in April. I'd been in Vietnam.
Okay, so you've been living there for a while.
Yes, and I've had, like I say, 7 different laser surgeries on my eyes, laser retina surgery, corneas, lens in this eye.
Sucks getting old. I'm creeping up there myself.
It's cut out on my back.
Oh, good Lord.
And for my health, I'm here.
All right. So now, I asked you to come and talk because I think you seem to be involved, obviously, in the drug war. I mean, you're saying that you've got the suppression in the state that you reside in. You were at before. Some repression there.
I have a cabin there. I don't reside there. I stopped there, and there are medical patients that I have access with around the country. I travel around the country.
So your residence is in Vietnam then? Where do you live at?
I live in America, the United States. That's my residency. I teach English.
Okay, but which state do you live in? That's what I'm trying to drive at.
My state of residency at this time is Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay, that's what I was saying. Okay, where do you live in Wisconsin?
I live in a small town called Bagley, Wisconsin. It's about 180 people. It's south of Prairie du Chien on the Mississippi River.
Wow. It sounds like an exciting place, actually.
It is, but the political environment sucks.
Well, sure. Anytime you get rural like that, you get a lot of conservative people who don't understand or have been sold on the drug war.
Conservatism's one thing, Steve. Greed's another.
Well, this is part of what it's about. I mean, when you've got capitalist America here, you can't expect that the people in control of big money aren't going to try and wage a war so they can get some more money.
Well, I wish the Koch brothers would support something a little more Earth-friendly.
Did the Koch brothers?
Cook. I'm a distant relative, as a matter of fact.
Really? Awesome.
Through marriage, of course.
Okay, that's cool.
No, not in my blood.
It's not in my blood.
Absolutely not.
No coke in your blood is what you're saying.
That's right. That's exactly correct.
I've got no nanograms of coke in me. I'm just saying. Just come on, I want to clarify that. By relation only. So, all right. So now let's talk to our other guests. We're talking about cannabis in America, and we'll come back to you because I think there's another tie in here. But Patrick is with Pittsburgh Normal, and Patrick, I can tell you based on just experience, I think we're going to end up hitting a commercial break again. But let's just get you introduced, and then we can get past the introduction, past the commercial break, and talk about the deeper subject of the war on drugs, and specifically how that relates to marijuana.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Patrick Nightingale. I'm a former prosecutor and practicing criminal defense attorney in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, southwestern Pennsylvania area. I'm the executive director of Pittsburgh Normal. I'm also a speaker for Law Enforcement Against Prohibition and working very hard to bring reform to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, especially seeing what it looks like right here at the Cannabis Cup and hoping to bring a little bit of that to our state.
So I asked Isaac yesterday, I'm like, look, do you have an ability in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to bring a petition initiative?
No, we absolutely do not.
It's denied under state law by Constitution.
Exactly. Our legislative process is exactly the same as the United States Constitution.
It must be done legislatively.
It must be done legislatively. When people ask me, how is that process? I say, not to sound trite, but look at Schoolhouse Rock's "I'm Just a Bill." It's the exact same process. Someone has to introduce the bill.
Capitol Hill.
Introduce the bill, it goes to committee, and therein a lot of problem lies, because if the committee chair does not want the bill to move forward, it dies in committee, and that is one of the issues that we have had to overcome recently with our medical bill.
So, do you know the guy that brought the medical bill? Because I had him on our air. I just can't remember his name. It's a senator.
Yeah, Senator Mike Fulmer and Senator Dalen Leach.
It's Senator Fulmer. So I had Senator Fulmer on our show.
Oh, fantastic. I was just with him last week.
Really? So I had him on the show shortly. I mean, right when the story started coming to news as a controversy in the news. Because I think it's an interesting plight. And so I was talking to Isaac about this yesterday. He's like, look, don't talk to me about politics, man. I'm just a promotions guy. I got the shirts. You want a shirt? I got some stuff over here. Leave that up to Patrick. There's another guy. He handles all that. That's you.
That is me.
Now, I think your background is awesome. It's interesting that now, how long ago was it that you were a former prosecutor?
I was with the Allegheny County District Attorney's Office, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from 1996 to 2002.
Okay.
I was primarily a domestic violence prosecutor, but also ran the gamut of all misdemeanors and felonies.
Right. So whatever came before you, if you got to sign the project, here you go. Off we go to prosecute this case.
Exactly.
So you saw a disparity there. There had to have been some expose that you were like, oh, what is going on?
That was when we, had mandatory minimums for selling very small quantities of drugs. A 1-year mandatory minimum for selling 2 grams of crack cocaine. A 2-year mandatory minimum for selling 1 gram of heroin. And a 1-year mandatory for 10 plants. A 3-year mandatory for 20 plants.
Right.
And a 5-year mandatory for 50 plants. And those mandatories could only be waived by the prosecutor on the case. A judge was helpless to do something, and I saw saw many times where literally first-time offenders went to state prison because a prosecutor who had the attitude that, hey, I'm going to win the drug war all by myself.
Right. You get overzealous on it. Isn't this an overextension of authority to prosecutors? Isn't it really the judge's call that should be making that? Because the judge is the trier of fact, isn't he?
Yes.
So why would the prosecutor then have more power than the judge in a situation where somebody's at stake like that?
In all other aspects of sentencing, in all other aspects of the criminal justice system, the judge is the one who ultimately makes decisions of law, and if the judge is wrong, then that decision can be subject to appellate review.
Sure. Another judge, a panel.
Yeah, and ultimately the United States Supreme Court,
sure.
In theory, under the system.
If you could sustain appealing it that long.
Correct. But when you, by statute, vest all of that power solely in the discretion of the prosecutor,
right.
I agree with you 100% that you are divesting the judge of the discretion and the authority that at the very least is subject to appellate review.
Well, and I would say that would be unconstitutional by its very nature because of the separation of powers clause.
Well, one of the things that we've seen is the Supreme Court has said whenever you want to apply a mandatory minimum sentence, you must prove the predicate facts beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury. And a lot of the state sentencing codes, such as we have in Pennsylvania, I'm not sure about Michigan, but a lot of those state sentencing codes called for mandatory minimums to be proven by a preponderance of the evidence and not by a reasonable doubt. So right now in Pennsylvania, all of our very harsh drug mandatories are not being applied because it looks like they're unconstitutional.
Right, and look, it's great that they've made this decision. And there's got to be some checks and balances because they are the foundation of what keeps our government stable.
You're exactly right. At least we're seeing some sanity in drug policy reform where, the president and people on both sides of the political aisle
are talking. But it's only after the blood's been spilled. It's only after they said, wow, this is a horrible mistake. Look at the mess we've caused unintentionally.
Absolutely, or intentionally.
Right.
Some would say that there was an intentional creation of the prison industrial complex.
Well, the whole idea.
But as we stand right now, at the very least, there's a pulling back from the brink. We went from a 100-to-1 crack to powder cocaine ratio in federal sentencing. At least that's down to 18-to-1.
Not if
still irrational, but at least it's been reduced.
Not if Chris Christie gets into office. Chris Christie says, I'm gonna bust all you guys. Colorado shut down now. Seattle, go home. Oregon, you can't do it anymore. We're going to break. Our guest is Patrick from Pittsburgh Normal. He's the executive director of Pittsburgh Normal, yes?
Yes, I'm the executive director of Pittsburgh Normal.
We'll be right back after this break with more from the Clio Cannabis Cup. Hang on.
You're getting the full melt.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit petpain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. Petpain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas. Probiotic organics, or huge production with Max Power monster aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
It's not easy out there, but it can be easier. And when it comes to medical marijuana in Michigan and chronic pain management, Dr. Bob Townsend, renowned for his patient advocacy and deep understanding of how patients and medical marijuana certifications fit together, makes it his hallmark to educate and provide the best holistic treatment for your condition. His knowledgeable staff makes you feel warm and welcome, and Dr. Bob makes you feel well. With locations across the state in Cadillac and Gaylord, Kalamazoo, Marquette, Mount Pleasant, Muskegon, Saginaw, Traverse City, you can't beat the convenience and feeling you get knowing you have someone on your side that cares. Denali Healthcare is on the web at denalihealthcaremi.com. Get answers to your holistic health questions or schedule an appointment now by calling 989-339-4464. Chronic pain management and holistic health answers is what they do. It's all they do. DenaliHealthcareMI.com. Get your certification and peace of mind now by making an appointment with Dr. Bob Townsend at 989-339-4464. It's the Full Melt Radio Show. We are speaking the word of the drug war out here at the Clio Cannabis Cup with a special live broadcast. It is, I guess we could call it an extension of the Secret Sesh. It is kind of a secret sesh. I think there's some cannabis being broke out as we speak. We're talking with both Rich and Patrick. Patrick, we left off on the break about the drug war, the disparity in sentencing, and the constitutionality and the separation of powers. Where do you see this going? What's the state of the medical marijuana bill in Pennsylvania? Does that have any breath left in it?
Yes, we have what I would honestly call a limited cannabis products bill, or a limited medical cannabis products bill. Senate Bill 3, which passed our Senate overwhelmingly, would create a system of license.
By the way, Senator Fulmer's district is extremely conservative. It's one of the most conservative in the state, wouldn't you say? I get a lot of Mennonites in there in his district.
Absolutely. It's a strong Mennonites, they're Amish, there's a conservative rural district. Right. And when the constituents in his district came to him and asked him to consider this, he really had to think long and hard because heretofore, all he knew about marijuana was reefer madness, gateway drugs, Schedule 1. And
pot bad.
Much to Senator Fulmer's infinite credit, he did his homework. And within 48 hours, came out and said, I'm going to sponsor a medical marijuana bill. I'm going to reach across the aisle to my very progressive liberal colleague who has been on this issue for a couple of years, and we're going to get this legislation moving forward.
Now, is the Senate or the House in Pennsylvania the more conservative branch?
No, the House is the more unwieldy. It's more difficult to get the House members in line, just like the United States House of Representatives.
I got you.
And our Speaker of the House, Mike Turzai, has been very, very lukewarm, if not somewhat hostile to medical marijuana moving forward. Now, is that because he is personally opposed to it, or is that tied up in some bigger political wrangling because certain legislation that he wants has stalled in the Pennsylvania Senate? So
he's holding it hostage to other political intent.
We were starting to really feel that way. Now, our House is coming back in session in September. We really believe that we're either going to see some real momentum when they come back in September, or it's going to, our fears are going to be proven true, and it's going to be killed for until the end of the year.
What do you think the chances are of legalization ever happening legislatively? Because that's the way it's got to happen there in Pennsylvania.
Legalization in Pennsylvania, I think, will only follow significant reform on a federal level, or states consistently legalizing, taxing and regulating in a manner similar to Colorado, and realizing, number one, significant revenues, and number two, no increase in either teen drug use or any type of corresponding criminal behavior, from DUIs to whatever.
Do you have a significant Indian reservation population in the state of Pennsylvania anywhere? Is there a contributing
Not significant, no. There is towards the New York border, but not one that's politically significant.
Do they have a federal reservation in Pennsylvania anywhere?
I honestly don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah, I do not.
So you don't even have that opportunity?
No, we do not.
Because right now, the thing about the
exactly.
Indian tribes. There are Indian tribes making headway into that marketplace right now.
And I think that's one of the things that's going to continue to push it on a federal level. You're going to have so many things acting inconsistently with federal law that it cannot possibly continue without significant federal review. And I just don't think there's any way, even if Chris Christie had his wet dream come true, there is no way to put this genie back in the bottle.
Look, I just don't see how you could be a political candidate that's viable and to claim and to double down on it. I mean, he's just dug in his heels on this subject and said, look, if I'm president, Colorado's shutting down. No more medical marijuana, no more retail cannabis. Well, maybe he'll leave the medical marijuana alone. But the free the weed thing is sunk in his administration, he says.
What I simply don't understand is...
How can you do that if you're a presidential candidate and get elected given the polling on this issue, even recreationally?
Especially as a Republican, that in every other area, Republicans stand for less government, for fiscal responsibility,
right,
for getting government out of people's lives, unless you want to listen to their telephones or you want to keep them from smoking marijuana, both of which Christie made perfectly clear at that debate.
Well, you would think that saving government wasted money, and I think it's a wholly wasted effort to put people who use any substance in prison because they were in possession of or dealt in the use of any substance for that matter. I think it's a horrible way to go. You're not solving anything. You're just commanding your edict and walking away from it, leaving the American taxpayer to pick up the bill. There's nobody checking in a business, if you're selling, you've got somebody looking at the cost-benefit analysis here. You don't have that in government. When they start doing these mandatory minimum things, there's nobody saying, okay, here's how the tax bill went up as a result of today's prosecutions. Oh, tomorrow it went up by this much more. There's nobody displaying that. There's nobody keeping track of it. There's nobody saying, hey, don't you think we should do less of these prosecutions today and more of those because we can't keep doing this. There's no more room. And the answer up until then has been just make more room.
Yeah, and the statistics are out there. We see the spike in our prison populations at the dawn of the war on drugs. We see, how the tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars that we have spent trying to keep people from using certain substances and using all of the criminal justice and even foreign power. We have treaties
and
with other countries that force them to fight our drug war.
Right, yeah.
And yet none of that has had any effect whatsoever.
On neither the supply nor the demand.
In both when I talk as a law enforcement against prohibition speaker and in my day-to-day experience as a criminal defense attorney, I see that the cost of heroin and the purity of heroin continues to defy the exceeding amount of waste that we spend in the war on drugs. Just recently in Pittsburgh, for example, I saw that heroin being sold on the street in something as low as bundle quantities was between $5 and $6 a stamp bag. And it wasn't totally bad heroin. It was decent heroin that, according to the wiretap intercepts, people wanted to buy. $5 or $6 a stamp bag, and you are putting people in prison in some cases for decades, for peddling this. I'm not suggesting that heroin is good. I think that it's poison, but the amount of waste.
But you're not going to stop somebody from using it by edicting it.
No, the supply.
You can't command it to cease. It's not going to stop that way. It doesn't work. It's not in the order of the universe. The stars and fundamental theories of science do not play into your edict ever having effect.
First and foremost, if we are truly a society that believes in liberty, then the war on drugs and our vigorous persecution of it runs 100% contrary to the notion of individual liberty.
Right.
The government telling you specifically what you can and cannot ingest, which at no harm of anybody else. And that goes so fundamentally against those issues of liberty.
It absolutely
does.
And
number two, the criminal justice system is so ill-equipped to address issues of why do people want to utilize an intoxicating substance in the first place.
Right.
We don't get to that, and we cannot beat that out of people by locking them in cages.
No, it hasn't worked, and we've demonstrated that it hasn't worked, and you're right. The federal government is finally realizing this, at least under the current administration. For the first, have you looked at the Bureau of Prison Records? Have you looked at the numbers, the population numbers? Have you seen this?
Absolutely.
So the numbers from the beginning, if you look it up you can look this up. Just Google it on the internet. Bureau of Prison Statistics. Look up prison population, and they will chronicle from the first year they started keeping statistics, which is around 1980, until today. That the prison now, do you know how many people were in the Federal Bureau of Prisons in 1980?
Go back before 1980, like go back to the 60s before the war on drugs even started,
Right.
but probably about 100,000 at the most.
There were 24,000 prisoners, 24 or 26,000 prisoners in the Federal Bureau of Prisons at the time Ronald Reagan took office. We're in excess of 200,000 right now. And for the first time in history, since they've been keeping these statistics, the prison population last year decreased by over 5,000 people. It started to decline, the numbers of additional people that they put in prison in 2012. But because up until then, they were adding 1,000, 800, 900 every year to the existing numbers. And that was just a low figure. Sometimes they were adding as many as 9,000 a year. Now, for the first time, it's actually gone down, and it's because they've realized, look, this is a never-ending battle, and we're trying to cut the budget, not increase it. In this environment, we have to do something. Isn't this an appropriate response? I think it is.
You know, I agree with that, but from what I'm seeing in Pittsburgh and other similar areas, the feds have really stepped up their game in terms of getting in there, utilizing things like Title III wiretap intercepts, and trying to go after larger drug dealing organizations. And by and large, when they take 30, 40, 50 people off the street and in a distribution conspiracy, there's going to be probably half, if not all of those individuals with some type of prior drug dealing conviction for peddling something small, or maybe a prior gun conviction or something stupid, that all of a sudden is taking their applicable federal sentencing guidelines from maybe something relatively benign to 10 years, 20 years in prison, and those are the type of numbers that still remain robust.
It's got to be frustrating in Pennsylvania watching the other climates where people have an ability to take away control from legislators and say, look, if you're not going to do what we are, and then sometimes even in that threat, get them to respond in an appropriate way, at least move closer in this direction. I would be very frustrated where I am in Pennsylvania having my hands tied to that process. What do you got to say about that?
It's absolutely maddening. It is maddening because in Pennsylvania we have a legislative process where one individual who is the chair of the right committee, or in our case, the wrong committee, the chair of the health committee, an individual named Matt Baker from Tioga County, a small rural county in northeastern Pennsylvania, was able to single-handedly stall the progress of the bill because he would not call it for a vote in his committee. He flat out said, I'm not going to do it. And we stopped all legislative momentum, everything that we had going. Our 88% support in the Commonwealth, our 80% support in the Senate, all ended.
Look, we're going to break. We'll come back and talk a little bit more, wrap up this subject after the break. Be right back.
You're getting the full melt.
Young students are our future. They're eager to learn, eager to succeed, eager to make the world a better place. And they want to make it to school safely. Share the road, take care when passing, and always leave 3 feet between you and people on bikes. Bikes are legal road vehicles. We're all drivers.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today, marijuanapatients.org.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD Hemp Oil Drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit petpain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. Petpain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
Got something to hide? Cannalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Cannalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Cannalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at cannalock.com. Visit cannalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Secret
So we are broadcasting live out at the Clio Cannabis Cup. It is a special live broadcast because, normally the Full Melt Show can be heard here Monday through Friday from 7 until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do this every day for you because it's important that you have the appropriate knowledge that you can walk forward and make an informed decision about. When you talk about things like electing people or just moving forward in your state. Look, I've always said on this show, you don't have to be a cannabis supporter. You don't have to be anybody that has anything to do with weed ever yourself. If that's your choice, that's your choice. But what I want to say is that this is a subject that's going to affect you regardless, and you should be armed with correct information. And that's what I strive to do, is bring you appropriate factual information that isn't biased by other sources that have an agenda at play. Because my only agenda in doing this show is giving you informed consent, giving you the ability to say that this is what I'm doing, and I know why I'm doing it, and I know the consequences of it, and I know the ramifications of my choice. If you can't understand that before you make a choice, it's an uninformed decision. And like I said, even if you're not somebody that will ever have anything to do with cannabis, if your neighbor does and you've got kids and you're concerned about that, you should understand this information. This is information that you cannot be denied if you want to make an informed choice about how to go about acting about this issue. And so I was talking with Patrick during the break saying, look, I think it's an unusual circumstance in Pennsylvania where you don't have the right to take power back away from legislators when you've petitioned them and lobbied them to take action on a subject, and they choose not to. They turn their heads the other way, and it's usually because they have a political interest at stake, and sometimes it has to do with whether or not they can survive the next election because that guy's giving me money, you're not. And so in the light of that, I would be very frustrated because in this state, we've got that situation, but we can go back and say, Mr. and Mrs. Legislator, screw you. For 25 years, we've asked you to move on this subject. We're now such a big organization over that 25 years. We've garnered the support and the money to put together a ballot drive, and we're going to say no to your no-say. We're gonna fight back, and this is what we're going to do as a choice of the public. It's a citizens' referendum. We're writing the law in essence. And then you don't have a say in that. We've revoked your power from you on this one subject. If we can get the signatures together and then get it voted in. You can't do that in Pennsylvania, and that would make me so angry that I couldn't do something given the legislators weren't doing their jobs and acting in the favor of their constituents. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to maybe do a shout-out to our audience so that people who are in places where they've legalized or made some concessions to medical marijuana, that perhaps they could donate to your organization in an effort that you could lobby your own government to do its damn job.
Well, thank you very, very much. The one thing that we have in Pittsburgh is I think we've got a great diaspora, that a lot of people from Pittsburgh have gone and moved to other parts of the country. They've moved to areas where cannabis reform is a reality. Make sure that your friends back in Pittsburgh, that your friends and family back in Pennsylvania know what's going on. And please reach out. Go to pittsburghnormal.org. That's Pittsburgh, NORML.org. If you're from the eastern part of the state or know someone out east, phillynormal.org. Again, NORML.org. And the Pittsburgh Normal Women's Alliance. Please follow us on Facebook and take a chance to get involved and get educated about the struggles that are still going on in so many places here in the United States.
Look, I'll tell you what, Patrick, I'm going to give you my business card before you leave. And if there's any way that I can help your cause in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh specifically, on this subject, if I can help bring some of the success of what we've done here in Michigan or highlight the success that's been done in other places, if I can help do that, please call on me. Because in every way, I stand behind what you do and support what you've got going on because it's all for the right. It's the same cause.
I cannot thank you enough for that. To have the support of the greater cannabis community is something that us activists need in Pennsylvania, which more often than not I tend to refer to as the hinterlands of cannabis reform. So thank you very, very much for the opportunity to come on and have a chat this afternoon.
Absolutely. Once again, it's phillynormal.org.
phillynormal.org and pittsburghnormal.org.
Awesome. Thanks again, Patrick.
All right, thank you very much, man. Take
give
care.
my love to law enforcement against prohibition. We need more guys from that position speaking out against what they can clearly see is problematic inside our government.
Let me give out a shout to Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. That's leap.cc, and learn what former prosecutors, former law enforcement are doing throughout the United States to talk about the wasteful war on drugs and how to end it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So what an awesome time we're having out here. Part of it's a political discussion, but part of it is about fun. And so, what we'll do, too, I guess, Patrick, is we'll give you a link to the show so you can listen to what we've done here. I think it's cool if Patrick can spread around the word that he's been spreading here at the Cannabis Cup, and part of it is through this show. Within my viewing shot is about, I would say, a crowd of at least 300 people. All in the non-medicated area, even though we're by a big medicated area sign. Hey, Robert, could you take that pizza down from there, put it maybe over here somewhere so it's not like on the T-shirts? That's kind of, yeah. There's pizza on the T-shirts, I just noticed. There's a bag of pizza, which I think Rick Thompson brought by, one of my colleagues. And it's cool because I'm all about the pizza, but I don't want it it's in a bag, but it's still, it's a bag of pizza. It's not a box of pizza, it's a bag of pizza. Don't put it in there. No, just set it over there somewhere. He's going to put the bag of pizza in the cooler with the water. That would be a good idea. Who puts a bag of pizza in the cooler? Wait a minute. It says, use the microphone.
It has delicatessens on it, Steve.
So, you were trying to keep it cool. That was the effort. The problem is that in the effort of keeping it cool, you would also keep it very soggy.
No, because it's wrapped into
a
separate
bag. It's in like a Walmart bag. That thing's full of holes.
There's also a Ziploc bag. In this situation, if it was normal pizza, no, not the cooler. But since there's hand meat on it, like ham and whatnot,
right,
the cooler is appropriate.
I suppose, but I think it's all right. It's not sitting in the sun or spoiling.
I need to hear you say I was
wrong.
Look,
you've never had day old college pizza like that just sat out all night. You just woke up in the morning after the beer buzz and you just pizza. Pizza.
No, I would not eat the pizza a day later.
Really?
I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't eat it if it was an hour old.
Bobby won't eat it if he looked away from it. Oh nope, it's an old pizza. Give me another one. There's something wrong about that pizza now. I don't know what it is. I can't describe it.
Much to be blessed for in America.
Yes, a gluttony.
Not gluttony, it's luxury.
Well, luxury and gluttony are hand in hand.
Blurring the lines between intellectual and argumentative.
What's your vocabulary word of the day, Bobby?
I'm going to say transcending.
Transcending?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a very Cannabis Cuppy type of vocabulary. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do like a special feature, like Bobby's vocabulary word of the day. And then Bobby will just select a vocabulary word and he will spell it out for you. We'll just do a series of them. You can just write a series.
Well, if I have to spell them, no deal.
No, just tell you. It's like the secret word. The secret word today is transcending. And then if somebody says transcending during the show, they get a free show shirt or something.
Oh, yeah, was that Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee Herman.
You said it, Pee Wee.
So I just think because you're just big on the vocabulary words. You're like, no, that's my word. That's my special word. What was your special word?
So We made it happen.
He's got no special words now.
What? I have to have another one?
No, it was just like, what's your special word now? You claimed it as your own word. No, that's my word. You can't use that word.
Oh. What if it's ironic, like lyric?
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, that's not a good one?
No, lyric is too, popular. It's too, lyric is overused. Everybody knows what lyric is. Most people know what transcending means, but what was the word we were using the other day that most people would understand? A lot of people are like, what? What does that mean?
Yesterday, the persnickety.
Persnickety. Now, a lot of people don't know.
Or the better version, fastidious.
Fastidious. Fastidious. Now, that's a word people don't understand, fastidious. I'll bet you, let's go right now, do a Clio Cannabis Cup survey.
Hey.
And so come on over here. You want to be on the radio?
You there.
We got a guy right here that's standing at the Full Melt booth. Come on and have it. So let me see the microphone. So what's your name, sir?
Johnny Johnston.
Johnny Johnston. So you got Johnston's Genetics. Look at that.
Yep, that's me.
So you're here with a genetics company?
I'm the owner.
You're the owner of the genetics company. Well, we bumped into a great guy. So we wanted to ask you, are you buzzed right now? Have you been out doing some dabs at some of the booths? Are you doing dabs at your booth?
Yes, I'm giving out dabs.
Okay, wait a second. So we got a question for you. We're going to commercial break. So after the commercial break, we're going to reveal to you the question. It's just a survey, but it's a vocabulary survey. We're going to see if you understand a couple of words, if you can define them. Because my version of things is no. Robert's version of things is maybe. I don't know. We'll find out after the break. Hang on, it's a vocabulary quiz.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media. The Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
This is the Full Melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. TheFullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
So we're live back here at the Clio Cannabis Cup for hour 2 of our special live broadcast. I guess we're going to call it the Secret Stash, the Secret Sesh. I stole it. It's not really a secret sesh, but it's a secret broadcast sesh. And I guess a smoke sesh, too. Before we hit the top of the hour, we're talking with Johnny Johnston from Johnston's Genetics, who happened to stop by the Full Melt booth, probably attracted by the Full Melt logo. Would I be correct about that?
That is correct.
See, it's like flies to honey, isn't it?
I brought a little with me as well.
Oh, dude. So we can do a dab while we're on the air here.
Correct.
Oh, that's awesome. So should we do the dab before the vocabulary question or afterwards?
I think that would up the
challenge.
Stakes? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. Do we have the dab? Okay, so let's. We're gonna get the dab works ready.
Awesome.
We got the dab works down. Hey, we're doing a. You guys gonna be a part of our vocabulary quiz?
Vocabulary quiz.
Yeah, we're doing a. It's the Clio Cannabis Cup vocabulary quiz, complete with dirty pizza plate on T-shirt table. Bobby likes to use large words and thinks that some people don't understand what they mean. I just want to see a Cannabis Cup survey and see if people understand what these words are. So maybe you would know. You guys are intellectuals. So okay, the object is here. We're going to do a dab first and see if he understands or can give us the definition of a certain vocabulary term.
We'll see if it's right.
Is Bob from Sweetleaf on his way?
This girl might come.
Oh, he's there. Oh. So it won't be Bob. We'll get the substitute Bob. If Bob comes, it will be Bob's representative, his agent. It's an authorized agent. Talk to my show promoter. I'm too busy to do this right now. So fire up the dab. Do you know what you're doing, Bobby? Bobby's not a dabber, but he's seen the process happen, so he's just recreating it on demand. I think that's within his full set of capabilities. So now JJ's doing his. Oh. Well, he got a couple of good dabs up out of there. He's using a dab straw, a torch, a dab straw, and some Johnston's Genetics. Is this this is your variety? You grew it?
Correct.
All right, so now he just blew. Oh, that smells delicious. Oh, I want to follow during the break. I can't do it while I'm on the air, but I'll do it maybe during the break. All right, so are you guys? Did you guys do some dabbing already, Jamie and Rick?
No, we did not.
I've been assuming all day. I'm not concerned about whether or not I've had a dab. I'm just concerned about whether or not I happen to know the word that you were interested in me.
Throw it out there.
Well, you got to be stoned, and we got to ask only the stoned people. It's a stoner question.
Well, I cover that ground easily, but it doesn't matter if I'm stoned or if I'm not. It matters whether or not I happen to know the word that you give.
Okay, well, some people, I don't know. Bobby, he'd be like, I don't know, I can't think right now. Just leave me alone. All right, so
I'd be in the corner in the fetal position like this.
Bobby, you haven't revealed the word to him, have you? Have you revealed the word to him? No, don't do it. No, hang on to
I'm
that.
supposed to come up with the word too?
No, well, you already know the word. You said the word. It's your word.
What, from yesterday or today?
The F word.
There's no F word. Oh, from yesterday.
Yes.
That was yesterday's word.
Yeah,
Let's go with a new one.
No.
Fortuitous.
Okay, we'll do that one too.
Fortuitous.
The secret word is fortuitous. So you understand? Can you give us the definition of fortuitous?
Fortuitous, the ability to make money.
It's close.
I will accept that as an answer. That is a correct answer. Would you say that? The judges say?
Fortuitous, advantageous, surprisingly beneficial. Fortuitous.
So it is. He can. It's close enough. Okay, we'll give you that one. So the question. Wait a minute. The second one is, Bobby. We'll use yesterday's word too. Let's see if you can go for two. Fastidious. Can you tell us what fastidious means?
Fastidious. Oh man, that's not one often used in the cannabis industry.
Oh, it's 0 for 2. It's a 1 for 2. 1 for 2. Okay, you guys, judges.
Damn.
We need Rick and Jamie in on this. So the other word was fastidious.
Fastidious, persnickety, detail-oriented to the point of irritation.
Oh, look, he's got it. Look, he's got the dictionary version down. It's like he memorized fastidious.
I think somebody's
Rick's just a professional. Rick's a consummate.
I think someone's got Google out.
Oh, he looked it up. No, he didn't look it up. Look, he even said persnickety, which was your other favorite word.
Yeah.
Because it's a synonym.
You know what? If you're going to look up words, look up for like Rolling Stone or drifting. There's about 40,000 synonyms for
drifting,
meandering, or Rolling Stone,
slumbering, meandering. All right, so what's that? Oh yeah, the Johnson's Genetics is. Oh, is this guy from? Is this the guy from? Didn't you? Weren't you going after the Skittles guys?
I don't know who that is. The yellow Skittles.
Oh, I thought he was. Who went after Skittles? Somebody went after the Skittles guys. Who did we get? Who we sent after Skittles? I don't remember. Skittles was supposed to come over.
This guy's here.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking to him. Look, I'm being prodded on by the non-producer. Good Lord. Hey, back to the, talk about the dabs. We're interested in the dabs only. Screw your vocabulary questions. We're more about dabs, less about vocabulary. Oh, thanks for party pooping on our game.
I got a new toy I want to try out.
Look, it's hard to talk. Look, it's hard to talk to you on the radio when I can't hold a microphone in front of you. He does have a new toy. He's like, I want to talk to you, but get that microphone away. I'm like, I'm talking to some wall. The audience is like, wait a minute, I've got I can't hear the other guy.
Bereavement.
Oh, dear Lord. There's a facepalm moment, I just say. It's that one. So, look, I wish we had a camera here because there's a giant, it's like a Cuban cigar doobie being lit up by Rick Thompson right now as we speak. Brian's got a new dab straw toy that he's trying out as we speak of the Jimmy Johnson's Genetics. Tell us a little bit about your company there, JJ. Can I call you JJ?
That'd be fine. We're a small family-based company out of Colorado. We're for the growers. We started doing this. We're third generation. We started doing this because it's the family legacy. Now that the laws have started to change, it's okay to get out into the open more instead of the underground.
Did I see you on a video on YouTube doing like a 5-gram dab?
I did take a large one for my birthday. I don't know that it was 5 grams, but it was huge.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah, that would probably be me.
You can't make that. Look, I smelt it. Look, I want to try it. Can I try it? Somebody's got to talk, though. Oh, God. Bereavement.
This is Robert, the show producer, now turned host. Mr. Green will be no longer with us for the next few minutes.
I've been freaking fired already.
Please
I have
take
to
this moment to...
Grab the cup. I have to do...
I'm just going to heat them up.
This is the most delicious wax I think I've smelled. It's so blonde.
This is the best thing I've tasted all weekend.
It looks delicious, is what it is.
I'm just saying we can hear you in the background, Brian.
Okay. That's all right.
It's got like a glorious wax, beeswax color to it. It's almost fluorescent in a way. And it's, I feel like I'm part of the crew.
Man, down.
we got a bunch of dead air here, Steve.
It's actually not bad.
I don't have the gift of gab here.
Look at
so. Come on down to the Cannabis Cup if you get the chance. Tickets at the door.
I can't get over how light and in color that honey is. I mean, Brian has christened his new dab straw toy. It's a worthy toy, Brian. Oh God, now I'm gonna choke. I knew I should have waited till the break. So, by the way, kudos on that. What is that flavor? What does that taste? Well, tell us. This is one of your genetic inventions.
This is something I just dropped in seed form at the Michigan Cup. First time it was released was yesterday. Nearly sold out. It's the Stuck on Sour. It's East Coast Sour Diesel mixed with my Ron Swanson Kush. Lots of lemon. Got a Kush flavor in there. Heavy expansion in the lungs. Yeah. Very clean on the flavor palette, though. Very nice. Everybody seems to like it a lot.
How's the yield?
Yield is very good, both in terms of yield in flower and yield of concentrate at the end.
Wow. So it's really crystally is what you're saying?
Very frosty.
I want to check it out. I'm a grower here in Michigan. How can I get some of those seeds? Are there any left? You said you're almost sold out.
Nearly sold out. We've got some left. You can stop by the booth. It's booth 152, Johnston's Genetics. We've got Kristen up front. She is the boss lady. You can find her. She knows everything about the strains. So we've got people sitting there giving out dabs of live resin that we brought. But also, if you aren't able to pick up some this weekend, if you tapped out on cash, there are a couple websites. If you Google Johnston's Genetics, there are a couple websites. One seed bank is actually located here in Michigan and can have your seeds to you almost the next day.
Who are they?
That's the Dank team. You can check them out online. Easy access to good, affordable seeds.
Awesome. Thank you, JJ from Johnston's Genetics. Where's your booth at? What number is it again?
Number 152. Come check us out.
152. Awesome. Thanks for the dabs, too.
No problem. I'll come back by and give you more.
Appreciate it. Wow, that's very cool. Don't forget your drink. You got a drink here, DJ. You don't want to lose it. What is that, by the way?
Somebody stopped by and gave this to me at the booth as soon as you walk in the entrance. It's a THC drink. It's medicated, and I think it's a hard cider there.
Well, it's called Full Tilt Pink Panacea Hard Cider. Ooh, I like it.
It sounds pretty good. I'm about to go sit down in the shade and enjoy it.
Crack it open. All right, enjoy. Thanks, JJ. So, boy, how much? What do we got left for time? I know Sharmy Goldson was going to go. Now I'm using the guest mic. Here you are. No more bereavement. Giving the guest mic away. I don't want to. Giving it back to Bobby. That can be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wait a minute. High Times just sent CR Snaps. So I've got the High Times application. Their mobile app.
Okay.
And they just sent a push notification that says CR Snaps. I want to see if we're in the Snaps.
We're going to be doing that shortly, too.
Doing some push notifications on our mobile app?
I cannot wait. It's
Man,
a great way to keep in touch.
First, I got to get the audio to work on the iOS version. It's all still wowie. In fact, I don't even know if I can get it to work right now.
I think we have a doctor on deck now, too, from an autism rehabilitation center.
Yeah, hang on. We're going to break. Rick's giving me a signal about something. I'm trying to find out what it is, but I can't make it out just yet.
I just told you, I think it's an autism or a doctor from an autism rehabilitation center.
No, so Bobby knows. You are turning into a show producer.
Oh, I'm the producer.
Oh, it's magical. It's happening before our eyes.
Better keep an eye on your seat. I'm on my way.
We'll come back and witness more from the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup in Clio, Michigan after the break.
You're getting the full melt.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
Got something to hide? Cannalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Cannalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Cannalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Cannalock.com. Visit Cannalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas. Probiotic organics, or huge production with max power monster aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
Introducing Sacred Elements, a place for natural and alternative healing for the mind, body, and soul. Sacred Elements. It's one place, all solutions.
Registered, licensed, certified, ordained.
Sacred Elements.
Massage, hypnosis, Reiki.
Sacred Elements.
Raindrop, aroma and color therapy, body detox, ministry, life coaching, weight and nutrition counseling.
Sacred Elements. Next to the Sweet Leaf, 400 South Door Highway, Flint.
11 to 7 daily, closed Sunday.
Call 810-259-2570.
Young students are our future. They're eager to learn, eager to succeed, eager to make the world a better place. And they want to make it to school safely. Share the road, take care when passing, and always leave 3 feet between you and people on bikes. Bikes are legal road vehicles. We're all drivers.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio Show.
So much confusion here. I had a chance to clear my head during the break. And actually, I'm starting to get a little hoarse. A little hoarse today. I don't know why. I can't imagine how or why that would happen. Live at the Clio Cannabis Cup, wrapping things up. We got about 45 minutes left on the air here today, and I just don't know how we're going to squeeze everything in. There's so much going on. It's Dr. Wagner, is it?
That's right. Nice to be here.
We're talking here now, this segment, about autism in Michigan and how it relates to the cannabis movement. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, autism is not part of the original recipe for those approved for medical marijuana as a treatable condition in Michigan. It wasn't on that list. And there's been a significant effort over a course of time, which I think Dr. Wagner can attest to, because you were involved in getting that as a listed condition approved. It just happened like a month ago, isn't it?
That's right. Well, we still have a little work to do, but
it still has to be signed off by the head of the commission or whatever.
By the head of LARA, which is the Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Office, and his name is Mike Zimmer, and it could take him until end of October, I guess, to give it the final vote.
So, what is there a feeling on this? Anybody reading the tea leaves on what they think this guy might or might not do? I have a feeling he's going to rubber stamp the committee's suggestion.
Well, that's what we're certainly hoping for, but you never know in these things, what kind of influence there is from other parties involved. There's another lieutenant governor who has an autistic daughter who's verbal, and after the panel approved it 4-2 on the 31st of July, there was some thinking that it might not pass because of his influence on Mike Zimmer. But we will see. I mean, it was a recommendation made by physicians, mostly on the panel, and I think he has no medical background, and he should follow the recommendation of the experts.
It seems to me, I think for people who are not familiar with autism, like If you don't have a relative or a family member, or if you don't have any background or understanding of autism, you have to understand that autism is a spectrum disorder, yes? Would I be correct in describing it that way?
That's correct. We're talking about the severe forms. The other spectrum would be the Asperger's aspect, where you have very intelligent children on paper, but they have problems communicating, which is very equally stressful for the parents. But the spectrum we are mostly fighting about is severe autism, those children that are health hazard to themselves and that have to be heavily medicated with psychotic drugs, which have a lot of side effects. So we're just trying to offer an alternative. We're not trying to change treatment modalities. That would need to go through FDA approval. We're just trying to offer these parents protection from prosecution if they choose this modality.
Now, can you tell people from your own experience how cannabis has impacted your life with regards to autism? Can you tell us how it's affected your child?
Well, I can't really say that I have used my son that I have treated him just for legal reasons.
Right.
But from eyewitness reports, I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes, is that the children who do consume cannabis with a severe tantrum have reversal, pretty much almost reversal of their condition within 45 minutes. And by reversal, I mean that where the child left off learning because of an environmental insult, from that moment on, the child will start learning again once you take that insult away. And we have explained that on a molecular level of why cannabis is helpful in these children.
So is it much like Dravet's, where people who have these retractable epilepsy episodes are affected by CBD and the oils? Is it a lot like this, where there's this overwhelming group of people that are having this huge benefit, so much that they're moved to other states where it's allowed? Is autism much like that? Is it in the same category?
Well, that's what we're hoping for, that we're starting this movement with this, because right now no state in the United States has autism as a qualifying condition listed on their qualifying conditions.
So this would be a first. Michigan
would
would
be a first in the United States, and hopefully sending a strong message worldwide that autism has alternatives for treatment. And
what does the Autism Society say about this? What is the officials? Are they for or against this, and how do you try and impact them?
I think they're very cautious about putting their name behind it. I've contacted pretty much every autism society within this country to back us up and support us, and we have found no support and this cause to even have an interest in this. I haven't even gotten replies, and
it's a hands-off subject. They don't want to taint their name.
Exactly. They want to wait until what the anecdotal reports show, and how if this will become more media attention, like the Charlotte's Web for epilepsy. And
so they might view Michigan, if autism gets approved, and I'm hoping it will. All indicators point to that it should.
Absolutely, yes.
It's been through all the panels.
That's what should be done. I mean, if you really look behind why this should be an option for these parents, look at an autistic child. Look how terrible this lifestyle is when you have a child that doesn't sleep, that harms himself or his siblings, and doesn't eat, and is wasting away, and needs to be controlled with heavy pharmaceutical drugs, which further can damage your child. To not have this as an option is unethical.
Many times it creates dependencies on these drugs. I mean, even
Absolutely.
though they're not that effective and have horrible side effects, they're dependent upon it.
Dependencies and also withdrawals. But the person that we met, Lisa Smith, she's a autistic. She's a mother of an autistic child who we used on the petition to petition this to become legal, and they've reported before the vote on July 30th. They've announced that their child started speaking again, of being nonverbal before.
Oh my God!
So these effects are incredible, and I could explain that. I don't know how deeply you want to get into the molecular science of cannabis and how it interacts with the receptors in the brain, specifically the glutamate receptor. And there's also indication that the pharmaceutical industry is targeting exactly that same receptor that the endocannabinoids dock onto to neutralize them. And I could explain that in great detail if you would want.
So, I mean, there's some science behind it. We don't have the time to I don't think a lot of people would understand what you were saying, so let's not talk over people's heads. But I do want to do something that can have a beneficial effect on your cause. And so can people... I mean, the important thing would be here in Michigan to get this done, get this final signature on this page that says this is an approved treatable condition, and then get people enrolled that have this. Is there a line of people waiting to take advantage of that approval if it comes?
Absolutely. On the 31st of July, we had a lot of advocates and parents with their autistic children show up in Lansing. One of the families is the Zaringer family, and he has been on TV giving his statement of why he's coming forward as a parent. And we have 6 states that already want to use our petition to use them in their states to, try to get them autism qualified as soon as possible once we have it, approved, to use our petition as a pathway to get it passed in their state. And hopefully we're starting a revolution for autism in a very healthy way, and it works. And, anybody can read the science on our webpage, letitgrowforautism.org.
Okay. Now, so they can go to that webpage. Is there a way that they can help affect this? Can they contact Laura and urge that the commissioner of this?
Yes, absolutely. On our website, letitgrowforautism.org, we have a section where we have a pre-written email for Mike Zimmer, who's the director who's going to make the final call for this. And if you could just fill in your name, your address, maybe put a couple sentences in of why you think this should be approved by him, the more the better. Absolutely, we need all the help that we can get, and so far it's been great for everybody involved, and I want to thank them for that and for their courage and for their time and effort to make it out there.
One more time, the website name so people got
it.
It's
letitgrowforautism.org.
Letitgrowforautism.org.
Yes.
Have you seen anybody wearing the autism ribbon around, the multicolored autism ribbon around here today?
I have not. I just got here, so
you haven't
I should have one. I should have one myself because my son is autistic. So
yes, I think you should. It's number one, it's colorful. Number two, it draws attention, and number three, it gives you a chance to talk to people about it.
Absolutely, yeah. I do carry him in my heart, though, so that's what we're doing this for the kids. It's not harmful, and I don't want anybody to think that we're doing any crazy experimentation. There is science behind it. I can back it up with anybody that wants to talk to me about it. So.
I got to congratulate you on your effort because I know that you've spent some extensive time and effort in this place, and you've done it from a place of love because you've got a child that Can you tell us how, for people again who don't understand how autism affects a parent-child relationship, how difficult this can be to just understand because you can't even respond to it until you understand it.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it tore my marriage apart. 80% of marriages get torn apart when their child is diagnosed with autism. It's a huge social problem. It's not only the child, it affects so many people. There's 1.5 million autistic children in the United States diagnosed currently, but there's many more millions because the parents are affected just as much. But yeah, overall, the effects on the families are not easy. It's a lot of work. Many people have to change jobs, and because there's not a lot of coverage from the insurances, and it's a big discussion. Overall, it's hoping that with this we can change things because it's a safe alternative for kids. And the biggest thing about it is it works.
Right.
It is incredible how it affects these children, how they come back and they start learning. And many people misconceive it and think that we're smoking pot with our children all of a sudden. No, it's not that. They have oils and...
there are other ways of administering cannabis that don't involve smoking is what
correct,
you're saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't even advocate for these children to smoke.
No, it would not be an acceptable form of use just because of the danger involved inherently with smoking.
Absolutely. And there has been no reported harm on these compounds that are used for these children. And we reviewed all the literature. We have support from the chief of pediatric neurology at Children's in Detroit, from the head of the Epilepsy and Autism Center at Henry Ford Hospital. We have Lester Grinspoon on the East Coast, who's a Harvard psychiatrist for the last 40 years. He gave testimony.
Lester's done a lot of work.
Lester's amazing. He testified for us in front of the panel. And so we have great support nationally, and I think that's why Mike Zimmer needs to listen to those experts, because those are the people that are involved with these kids on a daily basis.
It seemed like there was, because I've been following this issue for the show, and it seemed like there was a concerted effort on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan through the Attorney General's office to stop the addition of autism as a listed condition.
Absolutely. I mean, I could get into that when we had our hearings, what kind of evidence was omitted. About 500 papers of our scientific evidence that we've handed into Lara in May was
basically all the supportive documentation about the claims.
Exactly.
The claim was left behind. The supportive documentation was omitted from the panel's review
and the
initially.
Decision was then ultimately moved because one of the panel members, which is very heroic that he did this, pointed out to the rest of the panel that there's a lack of information.
It's all gone.
And the vote got delayed for 2 weeks, and then it ultimately passed because everybody had really a chance, 2 weeks' time, to review this on a scientific basis. Is it harmful for your child? Is there any hope that this could be an alternative option? And they all agreed, the majority agreed that...
It's 4-2, right?
Right. And, I don't want to get into Bill Shitty too much, the Attorney General, but...
it's his office that did the obstruction on this.
Absolutely.
And I think also the shenanigans involving the omitting of the documentation that supports this.
Correct.
I mean, I'm just going to say it for you. If you don't want to say it, I will, because that's what happened.
If he has such a big interest in this, then I really invite him to come to these meetings and discuss with us.
It wouldn't matter.
Discuss with us why you say no.
It wouldn't
I want to
matter.
know. I'm a scientist. I'm looking for no harm done.
Bill Schuette is a lost cause on this subject. It's a forever cause on him. It doesn't matter what you came to him with or what the plight or the individual. It's all anecdotal.
But people like him inhibit progress of this whole state.
Well, they do. They clearly do. And I would anticipate that Mr. Schuette, having been a judge and then a Court of Appeals judge, and then what is it? Now he's off of the Attorney General,
of Michigan.
And so now he's one of these guys that's shooting for a higher political office, and this is part of his mantra.
Correct.
He's not going to shimmer from it. He's not going to suddenly see the light and change his tune. It's not in the cards.
Correct.
I've given up on him. So I'm not. You know what I did? I made a song about Bill Schuette. It's called It's called the Bill Schuette song. It's called the Billy Bong song. Is what it's. You can find it on iTunes. I'll play it for you when we go to break. I'll play
Absolutely. I can't wait to listen to it.
In fact, I don't have a way to plug it in here. I play it here because people should hear it. But this is how much I detest this man, because he doesn't stand up for the people of Michigan, which is what his job is to do right now, is to stand behind the laws and the people of the state of Michigan.
Correct.
He's doing sometimes the exact opposite of that because he has an agenda that he wants to forward, regardless of the position of the people or the mandate of his office. And it drives me insane that
tell him
government's been corrupted to this level.
We bring the biggest expert of the states to him with the best science that you can get for autism, and if he has anything to say against this, I invite him for a debate of why he thinks this should not be an option.
Look, if we can put that together, I would broadcast it.
Please,
I would, but it's not in the cards. It's just it's part of a pipe dream. It's part of a pipe dream I've given up on. Sorry.
Oh, well.
Dr. Wagner, thank you so much for coming on. And thank you so much for what you do, too. It takes a guy with heart, guts, charisma, and cojones and a lot of energy to exhaust in this place. And it's a no it's a what do I want to call it? It's one of those things that gets no recognition. People don't understand that there's people behind this issue like you that forward these causes with no name attached. You know what I mean? Your name not out there for the name.
I don't want any trophies. I don't want make any money off this. So I don't have any business planned with this. I just want these kids to be better.
You're not into it for your 15 minutes of fame. You're into it for the cause, for the kids.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's why I'm thanking High Times and especially Dan Sky, who's been so coming forward and really showing an interest in this and publishing it, and with this story that he had about following us on our journey to make it possible to have that.
Which issue is this in? Is this in the recent issue?
Yes. Michigan on the forefront.
Really?
Cannabis for Autism is the article on High Times.
You see, I've slipped. I didn't see the cover yet.
Great article. Yeah, it's great. So I thank you all for that, and we'll keep you up to date with what's going to happen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wagner. I appreciate it. Look, it's causes like this. It's people like this. Dr. Wagner, please give him a business card so he can get a hold of us, so we can help him in the future if we've got an opportunity. We got more. Yep. Put a stack of them out. That's what they're here for.
You know, a nice show would be the cost of autism.
What's that? I'm sorry?
The cost of autism.
I'm sorry.
Environmental costs for autism, and to discuss why cannabis works on a molecular level. It's really very fascinating science. We're just touching base on it. We've discussed it with Stephanie Seneff from MIT. And we have probably pointed out the exact reason for the development of autism, which includes environmental toxins such as Roundup and glyphosate. And
wow, it sounds like there's a whole epic story wrapped around this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, glyphosate has been coming on the market in the 90s, and the autism rates parallel the sales of Roundup, and that's why we see a worldwide epidemic, is because Roundup is covering a lot of planets and contaminating the soil, and It has a very dangerous effect on the human organism. The WHO just came out with 4 months ago and claiming that it causes lymphoma, but it also, we believe, causes autism.
We got to go to break. I'm sorry. He's got all the science. We'll come back with more next.
Full Melt.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit petpain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. Petpain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
Get growing with GrowMax. Indoor, outdoor, beginner, or a warehouse full of Gavitas. Probiotic organics, or huge production with max power monster aeroponics systems. We can help you rock it. YouTube GrowMax with 2 X's. Customer service is why we're blowing up. And I'm Dave. My cell number is 906-221-2111. We also specialize in electrical and HVAC and new double-ended bulb technology. 906-221-2111. Get growing. GrowMax.
You know, it's not easy out there, but it can be easier. And when it comes to medical marijuana in Michigan and chronic pain management, Dr. Bob Townsend, renowned for his patient advocacy and deep understanding of how patients and medical marijuana certifications fit together, makes it his hallmark to educate and provide the best holistic treatment for your condition. His knowledgeable staff makes you feel warm and welcome, and Dr. Bob makes you feel well. With locations across the state in Cadillac and Gaylord, Kalamazoo, Marquette, Mount Pleasant, Muskegon, Saginaw, Traverse City, you can't beat the convenience and feeling you get knowing you have someone on your side that cares. Denali Healthcare is on the web at denalihealthcaremi.com. Get answers to your holistic health questions or schedule an appointment now by calling 989-339-4464. Chronic pain management and holistic health answers is what they do. It's all they do. DenaliHealthcareMI.com. Get your certification and peace of mind now by making an appointment with Dr. Bob Townsend at 989-339-4464. It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio Show.
So we're back at the Cannabis Cup broadcasting live. It's a funny thing. There's so much going on here. I mean, it's a beehive of activity. But as I was talking to Dr. Wagner as he was, leaving during their commercial break, because he started going on about the science of this, and I was like, oh man, we're talking over people's heads again, and we've got music behind it's going to break. And I don't think people caught what was going on, including me. But what you were saying, I think, when I clarified it for myself, was fascinating. So I asked Dr. Wagner to sit back down because now my interest is sparked in a different place. And I think it's important to highlight because there are a lot of people in the cannabis community that have strong feelings about vaccination and non-vaccination. And obviously, talking about autism, there's a lot of people in the autism community that have very strong feelings, for very specific reasons that the cannabis community doesn't necessarily have but may. And so I think there's a crossover here that's important. And you pointed out something to me that I was completely, and when I say completely, I mean completely unaware of in its entirety. And so I wanted to give you the opportunity to explain that to people because my jaw kind of dropped when you said what you said. Could you say it again for us?
Well, it all started when, during our attempt to legalize this here in Michigan for autism, I met the MIT senior scientist at the artificial intelligence section at MIT in Boston.
The people that do AI.
Yes. Her name is Stephanie Seneff, and she's written multiple papers on possible reasons why autism develops. And she has a very interesting theory that Monsanto's Roundup, and for those who are not familiar with it, Roundup is herbicide. It's used on genetically modified seeds that are put in the earth to resist pesticide exposure. So Roundup is making your crop.
What Monsanto has done here, just so I can describe it maybe in a broader way, so people have a clearer understanding of it. Monsanto has kind of wrapped up the food market in many ways on a commercial level, because what they've said is we've given this food product, whatever seed they're growing, whatever crop it is, an ability to withstand pesticides that we've also manufactured. So we've given you a seed that won't die, or a plant that is immune to the pesticide. And so we'll sell you the seed and we'll sell you the pesticide, and now you're going to have a much better yield. Your crop's going to be better off, and you're saying there's an unintended consequence, and that is a problem with vaccinations. Can you make the link? Connect the dots for us.
Absolutely. Well, before I can explain the link to the vaccine, I need to really quickly explain why the vaccines are important and why they affect some people and some don't. Why not every child getting the vaccine is becoming autistic, and that theory definitely explains that. Now,
what you're saying is that there's nothing as this connection between autism and vaccines has nothing to do necessarily with
those children have to be preconditioned to be susceptible to the MMR vaccine, and the way they're preconditioned is with genetically modified food and also the glyphosate, the Roundup that is many times contaminated in those foods. There's 750 food products at Walmart, for example, that have genetically modified organisms in their food. So when you give those children genetically modified food, and we're talking about just when they're born, 8 out of 10 mothers in Michigan at 6 months do not breastfeed their children. There's the 80% supplement them with formula. Enfamil and Similac, the biggest formula producers, had independent testing done in the state of Oregon, where they have found batches of those powders contaminated with the Roundup, because all these powders are soy-based, and 90% of soy in this country is genetically manipulated. And so these children...
For the increased product, for the yield.
Absolutely.
This is the Monsanto product. Again, it's a Monsanto soy seed and the Monsanto Roundup.
Absolutely. And those children, that Roundup, how Stephanie Sennett from MIT found out that this chemical is destroying bacteria in your gut that are supposed to be there. They're called your flora. And they help you in a way that they transport essential nutrients into your bloodstream.
Your digestive system.
The digestive system, to have those compounds needed in brain development and all kinds of organ formation. Enzymatic reactions, detoxification reactions.
The things essential for the manufacture and production of life.
And many children that are fed with those have inflammatory bowels that don't absorb these nutrients. Now, here's the kicker. There's a compound called manganese, which doesn't get absorbed in autistic children, and it's very well documented in the literature that many autistic children have a deficiency of manganese. Manganese is needed to neutralize a compound in the brain called glutamate. And glutamate is very essential that you need it in your brain because it helps with the neurotransmission, but too much of it is very toxic to your brain. So your brain is basically not truly killing neurons, but it's causing an inflammatory state in your brain if you don't reduce too much glutamate. And the one thing is that manganese is utilized to reduce glutamate. And if you don't have manganese, you have too much free glutamate. 99.9% of glutamate is utilized inside of the neuron. So any extra glutamate that cannot be metabolized to glutamine, it causes an inflammation in the brain. And now you have to really get into how do the vaccines come into this? And you have to realize that there's a very high concentration of free glutamate in the vaccines. The reason there's free glutamate in vaccines is because the MMR vaccine is a live vaccine. And the live virus in the vaccine requires glutamate, which is that essential even for the virus to survive. That's why they put so much of that in the MMR vaccine. So I'm not truly believing
Wait. So it's like the egg yolk for the vaccine. It's feeding off the glutamate.
Absolutely, yes. That's a substrate that's required by the virus to survive in the vaccine to make it a live vaccine. And so when you administer that to the child with a very high glutamate concentration...
So when they get the egg yolk...
Right. If you give the egg yolk to that child that doesn't have that compound called manganese in the system to reduce that free glutamate because they were exposed to too much...
That they can't absorb because they've been eating genetically modified foods.
And the glyphosate, which kills those bacteria in the gut that
right.
transport that manganese.
I'm connecting the dots now.
Okay. And so once you have too much glutamate in the brain, a receptor called NDMA is activated, which causes basically the neuron to burn itself out, because that is also activated not only by glutamate, but also by the Roundup. And so those two compounds dock on the receptor to be activated, but then the neuron doesn't turn itself off and it burns itself out. So that's why it causes an inflammation. Here's the kicker, that receptor, the NDMA receptor, can be neutralized by the activation of CB1. which is a receptor in your brain that you have that responds to your own cannabinoids.
Right.
And so if you give
it's the CB1 receptor. It's what gets this. Isn't that
Absolutely.
the one that does CBD?
On the other side, CB2, there's a United States government that claims that as a patent, is that CB2 receptor, which mostly is with cannabidiol, those compounds that have been shown promisable results in epilepsy, they inhibit inflammation of the brain. So not only do you not activate the receptor, but you also take care of the inflammation with CB2.
So you get a dual benefit.
You have a dual benefit, and that's why we see those children not replying only to CBD. They become tolerant. They need the THC or at least some CB1 activation to neutralize the glutamate toxicity. And the moment you do this, 45 minutes later, your child is back. And the child can start learning, and then they will create memory. We know that glutamate inflammation of the brain, you cannot create memory. It's well documented in the science. And any persons that rebuttal this, please, I invite you to discuss this with me, the molecular mechanism of this. And I can back this up with any science. And anybody who's a naysayer should prove it to the contrary.
Wow. Dr. Wagner, you've blown my mind with what you've had to say here today. It was not the anticipated information I was expecting to walk away with, but that you've given to me here. So,
well, I'm just walking on the shoulders of great people, and one of those is definitely Stephanie Sennett from MIT, who's actively working on exposing Monsanto.
You're talking about the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Absolutely, yes. Stephanie Sennett, she's taking it on head-on with Monsanto. I give all credit to her, but, you know...
It's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous thing to take on a big company like Monsanto.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they're in control of the food supply worldwide.
Well, I'll tell you what, and just to finish this off in a very interesting manner, if you have 1 minute, there is a oncologist, and I'm not mentioning any names, at Wayne State University, who, which is here in Detroit, who is a breast cancer surgeon who... is in his laboratory is in link with Safoni Pasteur, which is a pharmaceutical company producing the MMR vaccine. And that company has brought out a breast cancer medication that now they want to have trials on autism. You know, the biggest profit for a pharmaceutical company is to develop one product and then fight two different, totally separate conditions to make profit on.
Sure.
So we're talking about a breast cancer medication called Relutech, and that medication, they're already handing out flyers in autism conferences. But you know what the biggest kicker about this medication is?
What?
It's a glutamate inhibitor. So the company is not only producing the MMR vaccine that causes this in the first place, but they offer the solution. And this is the smoking gun.
We'll sell you the problem and then sell you the solution is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
I think it's amazing. It is.
It's all happening in Detroit, and that's pretty wild. So,
I'll tell you what, Dr. Wagner, I got to run. But thank you so much for coming on and giving us that information. Bobby, can you handle this for a second? Hang on, I'm trying to see who's calling here. Hey, we're live at the Cannabis Cup. Hello. Who's calling? Who's calling, please? Hey, Justin, it's Steve Green. It's my patient calling me. We're live on the air at the Cannabis Cup, dude, so I am live on the air, but you're not. Can I call you back in about 15 minutes after we're off?
Yeah, who we got next?
Okay, would that be good?
Bob.
Thanks, Jay.
You can never have
okay, will do. Thank you. Yeah, Justin, a patient of mine was calling with his new phone number. He's got a new number.
Bob.
Look at who stepped into the booth today. I am pleased to be in the presence of Bob and Kim Johnson, who run the Sweet Leaf. Thanks for stopping by, Bob. Bob is a chief sponsor of the show, and we're so proud to help represent what he does there, because what you do, Bob, in the Flint area and for the mid-Michigan area is absolutely amazing. And if you ever disappeared off the face of the planet, we would be so lost.
Well, thank you for that.
I'm serious. I mean that. Because I don't think people understand the depth and the breadth of which your organization has impact.
Well, we just keep trying to put it out there as much as we can. You know, every day we strive, to bring more people in, let them know what's going on, welcome them into the community. We do the doctor certification, so we tend to start getting a lot more people that are new. And
it would be easier to list the things that you don't do at the Sweet Leaf and than the things that you actually do, because I don't know that we have enough time left in this show to list all the things. Certifications among them. Oh, God, we're going to break. Bob, we got one last break left in the show.
Okay.
It's about 7 minutes long. We're going to stick through probably hear a Sweet Leaf commercial or maybe a Sacred Elements commercial.
Sounds awesome.
And we'll come back and talk more about what you can expect at both of those locations. How does that sound?
All right, sounds good.
All right, stand by. We're broadcasting live from the Clio Cannabis Cup, which all eyes are attended to the sky as we anticipate what could be a possible second rainout. We'll find out the details coming up with Bob Johnson next.
You're getting the full melt.
Young students are our future. They're eager to learn, eager to succeed, eager to make the world a better place. And they want to make it to school safely. Share the road, take care when passing, and always leave 3 feet between you and people on bikes. Bikes are legal road vehicles. We're all drivers.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today, marijuanapatients.org.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit petpain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. petpain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
Got something to hide? Cannalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Cannalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Cannalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Cannalock.com. Visit Cannalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Secret Sesh, Secret Sesh. It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
So when I said when we were going to the commercial break that all eyes were to the sky, I had to take my eyes off the sky and see if I couldn't plug them into the radar. So I looked at the local radar screen, and I can see that probably moments after we get off the air, we're going to get hit with a bit of a deluge. There's some significant water on our way, and it's probably about 20 minutes off. It's a good thing we've only got about 10 minutes left in this show. So we're making preparations to cover all bases. And part of our booth is being disassembled as we speak to make preparation plans in case the water gets uncontainable. Last year at this very time, the entire event ended and there was no Cannabis Cup ceremony. There was no award ceremony, which is what the whole thing is about. This whole exposition is about that ceremony. Never went down because the storm chased us out, because I think there was no backup plan in case there was a storm. The event is an outdoor event. So were you here last year, Bob? What did you do when the storm came?
I was not here last year.
Oh, so you weren't part of the storm. Oh, man. When it came, we had everything. You could see that these tents are weighted down with these huge cement weights on. There's an anchor on every corner, a big cement anchor on 4 corners of this tent operation. Each 10 by 10. to weigh it down. And I'll tell you what, when that wind and rain came, we had everything we could do to keep it from sailing off. I mean, these things were going to try and fly anyways. So there were people in, like, holding down the corners of the poles, and it got cold and wet, and so we were huddled together like penguins. I mean, we were like, oh, body heat. I need your, no, come here, let me snuggle. So it was bad. It was bad. And then the whole thing just disappeared. It all dissolved. We sat out here waiting. I think there were a bunch of people waiting for the award ceremony, and it never happened because they were like, well, you read it online, and if you want to go pick up your award, it's down at ABC Dispensary.
Well, there you go.
It worked out in the long run, but I think on Thursday I was talking to Dan Sky, and I was like, Dan, it looks like the weather. We had him on the air, and I'm like, the weather looks perfect, and he agreed with me. He looked at everything looks good, and then today I got up and it said 4 o'clock rain. I'm like, because the award ceremony literally happens at 4:20. I mean, what time is it now? I mean, we go off the air at 3 o'clock. It's 2:51, so we got 9 minutes till we're off the air, and.
So it could be raining at 4:20.
It could be raining. And the thing is like I said, it's an outdoor thing, and you've got mics and plugs and electricity. They'll call it off if it rains. They'll do the same thing they did last year. I'm hoping it doesn't happen that way. We're keeping our fingers crossed. And for people who are listening in and want to know what happened, because after we're off the air, you won't be able to tell, I'll post it on Facebook. So we're normally on the air from 7 until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. Talking about cannabis culture, cannabis content. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to highlight what you guys do at Sweet Leaf and at. He's like, don't look at me. Look, I just run the stuff.
Yeah.
I can't sponsperson for it.
Yeah, we try.
Maybe Kim can. Can Kim?
Yeah, we try to do everything we can.
Well, I just wanted to talk about some of the stuff that you actually do there. I mean, you know all the stuff that you do there. You've got how many windows? How many bud tenders do you have? Different caregivers.
Yeah, we have 9 offices, so basically 9 separate dispensaries inside one building.
Right.
And they all have their own products. They are very, up on what they do, so they're very knowledgeable of their products.
Do you hand select these people? Do you vet these people and go, well, you can be here, but you can't? No, not you.
Well, we kind of do. Me and Kimberly kind of select so that people fit in with the group, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And so not only can people come and find a caregiver or provider at your establishment, but then they can also take advantage of other services like the doctor's certifications.
Yes.
When do you do those?
Yeah, we do those every Thursday.
Every Thursday, morning, night, all day?
They're in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in the afternoon, usually start around 4 o'clock.
Okay, all right. And so they can call the Sweet Leaf and make an appointment? Is that how that works generally, or do you do walk-ins too?
Well, we do walk-ins too, but we have the doctor's assistant there, 5 days a week, and they come in and see him first, and he does their paperwork and pays their money and gets their appointment set up so that they, can be ready for on Thursday.
Then you have other people that provide other services, holistic health.
Yes.
Is that part of Sacred Elements?
Yes, that's part of the Sacred Elements.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about what those kind of services are? I know that you do. So you have different things that are like more in the exercise arena, like Reiki or yoga, these kinds of things, more meditationally oriented and de-stressing oriented, kind of a metaphysical thing.
We do offer a lot of that, and this is Amy Gosselin,
Amy.
and she's the one that is going to tell you more
Amy's
about
like, no, I can tell you. Just give me the damn mic already.
Thanks, Bob. He's great at the intro, too. Yeah, I'm Amy Gosselin. I'm the services coordinator and director for Bob and Kim over at Sacred Elements. And Sacred Elements is just another approach of helping people. That's how the Sweet Leaf came about. That's how Florida Bob all together. So Sacred Elements is everything that is an approach to feeling better, being better, mind, body, and spirit that's not medical marijuana. And all of it together is just a great collaborative of feeling good, having a good time, and an approach to healing and curing all kinds of things, including the blues.
Why didn't we get you in the first place? I'm like, describe what's going on. They're like, eh.
Well, I'll tell you, I came into the Sweet Leaf as a customer first before I ever met Bob and Kim. And I walked out very, very impressed by the fact that it was a collective. It was a collaborative.
Right.
It was many hands coming together to make light work. Somebody there specializes in something that each and every patient can need.
And that's what I love about the place. Thank you for describing that because you put it so succinctly.
And that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Well, you had a unique way of characterizing it. I can say that because it's not a way that I probably would have chosen to try and do that. I would probably have stumbled around and told the long story and bored everybody to tears. They all walked off half an hour ago, and I'm like,
you don't walk away from the Sweet Leaf or Sacred Elements board. You walk away in a better mood. You walk away feeling better, optimistic about continuing to get better from there. So it's a great place, and you should visit us as often as possible.
Other stuff like hypnosis.
Yep, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. We have a few others. We can treat everything from stress management, pain management, to smoking cessation. I've actually customized a script that will help you stop smoking cigarettes without hindering your ability to take in your cannabis and your medication.
Really?
That's not something everybody's comfortable asking a hypnotherapist for, so I just put myself out there because I know it's important.
It is.
So we offer that, but weight loss, anything. We have a weight loss program that happens. We have meditation. We have massage therapists that's on staff most every single day of the week, including tarot readings, oils, crystals, teas, lots of good stuff.
So how much is it to move in at the Sweet Leaf and at the Sacred Elements? Can I just move in?
You just want to live there? You have to join our club.
Oh,
it's the Inner Circle of Light Workers.
There's a club rate? I don't get. I just want to go, like, you know how you do, like, at a gym, you go from station to station. I just want to go and do the massage therapy and then get hypnotized and then do some yoga and then walk over and do some medication and then go off and buy some cool stuff like, I don't know, you got the dream catchers. You guys have the most beautiful stained glass marijuana art that I've ever seen in my life. They're like
handmade, too.
That's what
Gorgeous.
I'm saying. Stained glass, it's all handmade. There are so many things that when you go into Sacred Elements and the Sweet Leaf that I think you can't even anticipate, because when you go to a place like this, you're like, what is this? It's an exploration, I think, when you go there. I had to go around, look around, and because it's not just like you walk into a retail shop and you're like, there's the aisle of vases, and there's the aisle of stuff that goes with the vases, and there's some other more boring vases. I mean, it's not like that. You go in there, and there's a little of this, and then a little of that, and then a different version of that, and then you walk on, and there's just new discoveries all along. And I'll tell you what, I've been around some 48 years, and I every time I go in there, I find something that I haven't been exposed to, and I think that's what's fascinating about Sacred Elements particularly. But
that's
then the Sweet
happens.
Leaf in its own sweet way.
A well-rounded team.
Right. I think that's what I love about you guys, and that's what I'm saying. This is a whole new schematic that I think you guys pioneered. This kind of this methodology, this kind of a business plan, this kind of an assembly of all these talents. Because it's like any great president, they surround themselves in a great cabinet. And I think that's kind of what you do. You're the president, and you've got this great cabinet. And they I mean, that's the best way I could describe it. You surround yourself with these successful people that are experts in their field that can help the people that you attract to these to your company. So it's a good thing. What's going on? Is there any specials? And what's going on here at the Cup? Can people expect before the rain comes? What can they find out at the Sweet Leaf booth? You don't know. He's got the blank look.
We got medication.
You got medication? I am down. Can we explore the medication?
Yeah, I got some of the stained glass here.
Really?
Yes, I got some of the stained glass.
Bob, you guys got to get a shirt. Hey, what size you guys got? What size are you? Well, for a T-shirt.
I'm an extra large.
Extra large, Kim? Just a large? So large and extra large? What do you want, sweetie? Small. We got a small, a large, and an extra large. You guys, we're going off the air. Thank you to the Sweet Leaf for being a sponsor on the show. We love you. We always want to be with you. Never leave us.
Well, hopefully we don't have to.
That's the end. We'll talk to you soon.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.